All right, welcome back to the Ultimate Homeschool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Hernandez. Today, we're going to be talking about the homeschool resources that I have for you. I want to apologize for this lovely grainy image. I think it's on most of my podcasts. However, we're working with what we got, people. So, in the meantime, if you have not already downloaded the homeschool journal bundle, you're going to want to go to our Stan store, and that link will be down in the description below. And what you can do, it's free. So you can go ahead and download that at any time. And then this journal bundle is really for the family who wants to do homeschooling in a much more simpler way. Record keeping can be terrifying. It can also be a lot of work. And a lot of parents, me included, we don't really think about record keeping until after it needs to get done. There's some parents that are very ahead of time, they're organized, and they have all their classes listed down on what days they're doing classes and what days they did these lessons and what days they did those lessons, and they actually get it done. I'm not one of those parents. So what I tend to do is once we've actually done the lesson or once we've actually done the work, then we write down what we did. So it's more of a history of what we did. And so with that, this journal bundle is going to allow you some simplicity. You can print it out as many times as you need to. I would suggest putting it in a binder and just pre-printing everything that you need. And please, 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 if you have any suggestions to make it better, or like, hey, I'm not really using this like that, or hey, we've used this in a different way. And once we get into it, I'm going to share my screen so you can see what we're doing here. But once we get into it and you're seeing like, oh, that's actually not too bad, or oh, like this doesn't make sense, or my children don't really use this, or we don't really do that like that, you don't have to use any pages that you absolutely don't need, right? This is just for you. This is a benefit to you. This isn't supposed to be more of a hindrance for you not to be able to do the thing. So, with all being said, let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. And you're going to have to bear with me there too, because I'm not the tech savvy person. So we'll see if we could do this. Yes, that should work. Okay, and window share. Okay, so you should be able to see me. Hey, we're here. Okay, so the front cover is changing. I will be updating that. So when you go to look for it on the Stan store, you are going to see this cover. And the first page that it brings us to, and I hope we can all see this and it's big enough, I will enlarge it a little bit, is this homeschool journal. So this is for those days that maybe your child needs to write and you really don't want to have a writing lesson per se, but you would like to have them record what they did that day. And so we made it very easy to circle what day you're doing this and put the month, day, and year. Because let's be honest, I sometimes have my kids do work on Sunday and not on Monday if we're going to have appointments or whatever. People do school at all times. So you can really be learning. And if you did something on the weekend that you really want to write down, that can also count. So you put what you experienced. And if your student is still not writing, you can either have them draw a little picture here on the back, or you can write it down for them and like say, mom recorded, blah, 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 right? Okay. And this is just to get a recap of what they did for the day. And it's supposed to be very simple. If it's today, I experienced the playground, and they can write just that one word. If they're a little bit more advanced, you can have them write one sentence. Maybe you can say like, hey, I need you to write 2 sentences per question. And that way they can do at what's at their level. Okay. You have my favorite part about today was hardest part of the day, all of that, something funny. This is just kind of a recap, okay, of their day. And like I said, all these pages are if you need it. Okay. Next is an experience review. I put experience review because not all things are going to be field trips. Some things you might have an experience like at your co-op. Maybe somebody came in, we had last semester, somebody came in and shared with us about the way that they distill herbs and make essential oils. And so that was a experience. It wasn't necessarily a field trip. So you can put on here, like co-op, essential oil distillery, something like that. Okay. And then there's places here where you can either write or draw a picture, top 3 things you did. And there's little phases here if they liked the experience or not. Again, if you have younger students and you're filling this out, you as a parent can fill this out for your family and just have a 1-page overview of like, hey, we did this today. The kids all kind of like really enjoyed it, or they were all like just fussy and this was a total wash and I'm not doing that ever again, right? And so then you can have them write this out or you can write it for them, things you learned, accomplished, and they can rank the experience as well. So if that's something that, you can keep, this is really to help you build the record. So that way, if at any chance you do want to look back and say, look at all this stuff you've learned, you've got it here. Because let's be real, I don't remember everything that we do. I also don't remember all the field trips. I mean, we take a gazillion pictures. And so I try to organize those, but let's be real, that doesn't happen. Okay, next, weekly homeschool plan. This is for the person who's like, okay, I love all these daily things, but I really just need a weekly thing of like Monday, I'm going to write down that we did reading. Tuesday, we did math. Some of us don't do every subject every day. If you're one of those persons, I congratulate you. I'm not one of those persons. I will say we do try to do like our online math as much as we possibly can. Everything else is like when we get to it. Sometimes we'll do several things on several days to catch up. Some days or weeks, if they're sick, we don't really do much at all. And it's like, okay, Tuesday we watched a documentary on sharks. Wednesday we went to the park and they got their PE exercise done. Thursday maybe it was your dance class. Friday we went to co-op. And maybe Saturday we took a nature hike, and that also counts for PE. Yes. And so then here's some things you can say like, okay, to-do list, maybe we need to add chores on there. Maybe we need to add practice instruments. And then you can put what the week that starts in month and year. So this is very like, it's multi-year, multi-month. You can use it over and over again. Okay. Weekly homeschool check-in. Okay, so this one is really for the student. Now, if the parent is doing it with a younger student, I would say you want to talk to them about how that week went. Now, will I tell you that we use this every week? No. Do we use the journal bundle all the time? No. But it's like when you want to or when you feel like it. I would say the most important thing that you can stack up is this weekly homeschool plan. Just print one out for every single week that you're doing school. So that way you can keep track of what you did that year at a very, very rudimentary, basic like math, reading this. You could even, if you want to get a little bit more detailed, like this person did these 2 things, this person did these 2 things, but I wouldn't even go that far. Like I had all these kids, you could put their names on there and be like, this is a weekly homeschool plan for Bob, Joe, and Sue. And they all did this, and this. Okay. Now for this weekly homeschool check-in, you're wanting to ask the students like, what was the top 3 things that you did? What was the most challenging thing you did? Maybe like they had a really hard time with algebra, or maybe their science experiment didn't go the way that they planned. And so that was a really big challenge for them. This week, how did they feel? Next week, is there something special that they want to do? Is there something that they maybe need to get done or that they want to accomplish outside of school, right? Or like academics, I would say. Okay. It could be academics, it could be non-academics. Like, okay, I want to get ahead in my math, or I want to learn that new skateboarding trick, whatever it is. This is their page to really just write that down. And it really just helps them to see where they're at and for you to see where they're at. Like, okay, I need to help Johnny do more of this because they're feeling really bad about it, or something along those lines. They can put what they accomplished. Okay. What the best thing was about the week, and then their rank of the week. Like if it was a really crummy week and they were not happy about it, they can put like 1 star or 0 stars, right? Or if it was an amazing week because you guys took a trip to Florida to the beach and they're like, yes, this is the best week ever, I can put 5. Okay. 5-minute journaling. Okay. So this can be prompted or not prompted. That's why I left a little bit of space here for you, the parent, to either write a prompt for them or just leave it open for them to express their feelings. And this is really just to get those reading and writing and editing credits in, right? Um, and again, this can be a once a week thing. This could be a once a day thing. It's really dependent on what you want and how you want to do it. And so it's a very simple page. They can put their name on the top. You can put the date on it. I didn't put all that on here because it was really just for like jotting whatever comes to mind. Okay. But you can add those things if you need to. Okay. This one, thoughts, creations, plans. So this is a dot page. I don't know if any of you guys have played that game, Dots, but if you get bored or your children like need something to do, you can also use it for that. However, that's not what this is for. This was for a plethora of things. Okay. If your child likes to draw, they can do that on here. If you need to plan things out, you can do that on here. It's really just a multi-use page. It is not necessary, but um, it's just one of those pages that I included so everybody has a place to jot notes down. All right, book report. This is a very, very, very simple rudimentary book report, but I know some families really enjoy doing reports. My kids are not one of them. However, as we get into upper grade levels, we will be doing more book reports. They don't know that, but that is my plan. So my whole point of this was so that it could be very, useful in different ages, different grades. So it's not super complex. Now you could have them add on the back, like what was the climax of the book? What were the main characters? What was like the overall story or lesson or whatever, right? Okay. So this is just very simple thoughts of the book summary. What was the overview of that? What you learned from the book, why they would might recommend the book or why they wouldn't recommend the book. Okay. Next, gratitude journal. We know it is scientifically proven that being grateful for at least 3 things every day, it really helps to get your mood in the right direction, like to be more positive throughout the day. So, I mean, they could be grateful for like their sippy cup. They could be grateful for whatever it is that day. But the whole point of this is to start to create some rhythms and help you like ground your day. Like, oh, hey, let's start with our gratitude journal. And mom like could also fill it out or dad could fill it out for the kids and just like you guys all pick like what are the 3 things you're grateful for. There's 3 tabs here. You could fill in the whole line. Like Johnny's thankful for XYZ PDQ and Susie's 1, 2, 3 things here. And John's things are 1, 2, 3 here. Okay. And then you've got something that inspires you. Affirmations. So some people are like, yay, affirmations. Some people are like, no, affirmations. If you want to write Bible verses down there, if you have prayers that you want to write down there, if somebody's having like a really big struggle with math, you can have them put like I can do all things through Christ or something along those lines. Or if they're really needing a push to be more kind, you can put that in there. And then here's some just places to jot down notes and reminders. Nothing really fancy. Again, just trying to get it so that way you can use it. Here is a weekly checklist for home and school tasks, month and week. You can put that there too. This is a very like rough overview of, okay, you can either use it for chores. You could print 2 out, make one for home tasks and one for school tasks. These are the tasks that they need to get done every day. How many days did they actually get it done? So for home tasks, it's like, okay, we need to clean the bathroom and we usually do that on Monday. So Monday they can check it off, or did they do it on Tuesday, Wednesday? When did they actually get it done? Or did you get it done? So this is a really good little chart here for if you have kids that are practicing music or need to practice sports or something along those lines. And like, okay, here's your sport. Let's check off when you practiced that for this week. And then they can look back and be like, oh, I missed 3 days this week. Like next week, I need to really maybe put reminders or ask, maybe work with them to help them to be able to do that. Same thing with school tasks. Like, okay, I have this big project I need to do. So I need to put this project down and how many days I've worked on it. Or maybe I have, reading. And so you could even put like 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever in there. You can really, again, very simple. So you can use it how you need to. And there's notes at the bottom. Okay, so goal tracker. I added this because a lot of times I think we don't give kids enough credit that, they have aspirations and goals and things that they want to do. Some kids are not as aspiring as others, and that's okay. You don't have to use this page, like I said, but if they do have some kind of goals that they want to get done, this is a great way for them to see it visually. And sometimes that can help them be more motivated to do the work and see the work that they've gotten done. So this goal tracker here, you've got top 3 goals, to-do list to get those goals done. Ooh, that's out of the place. I've been editing this thing. So, and then an action plan to actually get there. Like, what's the step 1? Okay, I want to learn how to ride my bike. Okay, well, step 1 is we need to get the bike. Maybe step 2 is we need to learn to balance on that bike and somebody's just holding them up on the bike. Maybe step 3 is we need to get, or maybe step 2 is we need to get training wheels on the bike. Maybe step 3 is we need to practice our balance. And then maybe step 4 is, okay, we've practiced our balance. We're taking off maybe one training wheel. And then maybe step 5 is we're taking off all the training wheels and now we've done it. Okay. And then there's rewards here down at the bottom. Like, oh, okay, if we finish step 1, like is there a reward that we want to give ourselves? Maybe it's whatever your kid likes. I don't always say food because that's not always a good reward, but it's really just on you. If you even want to do rewards, you don't have to. Okay. And then here is the last page. This is just some affirmations that I gave to you. They can be used on your gratitude page if your students like can't think of what to write down and you're like, well, you need to at least have 1 or 2, like what's some things that you do know or that you maybe might want to have. So I've got these affirmations here. You can also just print it out, put it up on the wall. So that way they can see this. It's always good to be thinking of things that we can give into a positive way, right? Like learning, it means that you might fail and failing is okay. Failing means that you're learning, right? Like there's a million affirmations that I could have put here, but I just put some of the top ones that I felt were most important. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. All right. So I hope this has helped you. And if you, like I said, if you have any suggestions or if you have any additions that you think would be a great add, I did want to add in a yearly, and I will be doing that. So once it's not in here yet because I'm revising it and updating it, but once you probably see this, it will be done. And we are going to add a yearly page. So if you just need it to be like, hey, what days did we actually do homeschool to make sure we got our 180 days in? Some of you are under like the independent mode. And so you really just need to turn in a sheet that says what days you did or didn't do school. And that I believe goes to the Board of Education, like in your county. I don't know where you're located. So it really just depends on what your state requires. So you need to make sure you have that under control. But just to help you with that, I will put down so you see the whole year and you can put down like January, February, March, April, and you could just circle all the simple days. Even weeks or like cross out or highlight however you want to do it, just so you can clearly see like, okay, yeah, we are and we have done 180 days, or no, we haven't done 180 days. We do school all year, so we don't really count days over here. But if you have to turn it in for record's sake, it is a good, simple way. I have done that in the past where I just like screenshotted my phone camera, whatever calendar, and printed that out and like circled all the things and turned that in, until we are now with an umbrella and we don't need to do that. So the records are just for us. And in case, I always say, because people are like, do we really need records? Yes, I would keep records, just even if it's the most simplest thing. We do a very unschooling approach to school now. Um, I will probably be sharing about that on a later video. But when we were doing all the different curriculums and things when we lived in a different state, we had to do a assessment at the end of the year of if the student was progressing. We had to show work and things like that. So these are things that you could show to a, like, I think it's typically a certified teacher of some sort, to show like, hey, here's some journals that they did from the beginning of the year. Here's some at the end of the year, and look at how they've progressed, right? So a lot of this is like, oh, has your student progressed? I know there's nothing with math or any other subjects in here. Uh, it is really supposed to be just very simple. So hopefully, you can understand, what you need for your state. I would highly suggest, if you don't know what you need for your state, I believe HSLDA does have some of those lists on there, and they are the legal people that you would want to talk to. But other than that, I hope this has been helpful, and be sure to go download that and use it. You got to actually use it. Maybe put a reminder in your phone, like, hey, I need to do records. You can even just do it like one day a week, like, hey, the end of the week, I need to do this, right? All right. Well, again, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time. Happy homeschooling.